Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our The Future of Insurance panel discussion. I'm Bernadette Sauria Gultom, and it's a privilege to serve as your moderator today. A bit of my profile: with around 20 years of experience at AAUI Indonesia, I now have the honor of contributing as a partner in the consulting division, focusing on leading the insurance practice. Being invited to participate in Indonesia Rendezvous for the consecutive 3 years now and holds special significance for me. I'm deeply grateful and would like to extend my heartfelt thanks for the opportunity to the committee. I've gained varied experience in finance and operations with focusing in finance transformation and the vital IFRS 17 implementation as shared earlier by Pak Ogi and Pak Budi to help clients with their financial transformation and challenges. I've worked on improving business efficiency and building solid risk and internal control also to help organization manage risk, and also help integrate the technology solution delivery that align with our client strategy and led the PMO to deliver high quality solution from start to finish. For those interested in connecting, feel free to reach me after the panel session. And as we embark today's discussion, I'm looking forward to sharing ideas and learning from each other. So for today's topic, in this fast-paced and ever-changing era, digital disruption has transformed the landscape of industries across the board, and including the insurance sector. And also digital transformation is no longer an option, but a necessity to survive and thrive. In this session, we will discuss how the insurance industry can adapt and leverage digital innovation to manage risk more effectively, enhance customer engagement, and build digital trust. So we are fortunate to have a panel of distinguished speakers who will share their insight and experiences on the following topics. The first one of Dr. Andrew Ang as a Regional Head of Customer Success and General Manager Indonesia from IBOTech. So the profile: with a distinguished career spanning over 25 years, Andrew brings extensive experience in senior management roles within Fortune 500 company and startups. Currently, Andrew serves as the Regional Head of Customer Success and General Manager for Indonesia at IBOTech, where they spearhead initiative in insurance modernization, Banca 3.0, digital micro-insurance, and embedded insurance. Based in Jakarta, Andrew leveraged their regional insurance expertise to drive transformative insurance solutions and also strategies for major insurance firms, banca, conglomerates, and emerging startups. In 2016, Andrew co-founded AIDA Technologies, offering AI and machine learning solutions for the banking and insurance sectors. AIDA has gained multiple regional awards, including Singapore First FinTech Festival Global Hack-Leicester Award in 2016. Their AI solutions were operationalized by many large insurance companies, regionally leading the company acquisition by the largest insurer in Asia Pacific in 2022.
Alright, selamat pagi semua. Saya berasal dari Singapura, sudah tinggal di Jakarta 10 bulan. Tapi tolong saya harus presentation in English. Yeah. So my topic today is on adapting to the evolving insurance landscape. Bagaimana perlu transformation. Apa bisa bantu semuanya transform? Dan bagaimana kita bisa transform? So my experience, this sharing comes from our 25 years of experience, having served many insurance companies and also insurance channels. So in total, of 25 years history, we serve more than 500 plus insurance companies and insurance channels, distribution channels. So in terms of why, so the three challenges currently faced by insurance companies right now, many of the current products are not tailored for digital products, micro insurance, embedded products as well. The product management are outdated, and you only has a very small base products or SKU. And in terms of current association internal operations, a lot of focus are on internal rather than forward-looking partner connectivity focus. And there's also no standard set of APIs. Everybody just create different APIs to connect to different distribution channel. And in some of technologies, many are still using a conventional, outdated core systems, which is fine, which I will tell you why. So, what are some of the challenges in embedded insurance, digital products, micro insurance? There's a lot of hype, as we know. The forecast for embedded insurance premium will be $3 trillion by 2030. And compare that with daripada sekarang total insurance premium is $7 trillion. So you should be able to expect, I believe, by 2030, 30% of the insurance products will be all embedded. So the best solution for micro insurance, embedded insurance, digital insurance is you have to have a lot of try and error, meaning you have to be very fast in trying to create the product, launch the product, test the product. So that would be one of the key advantage. So just look at the number of example of some of the insurance products across embedded, digital, micro insurance. I mean, different ecosystem. There's so many different products line actually. So how do you? I mean, if you start to create, spend 3 months or 6 months to create one single product, it's going to take a long time actually. So in terms of connected insurance opportunities and challenges, I think there's 3 key challenges right now. The key challenges is, can your current systems handle massive volume? In terms of number of products issued per second, the scalability across many of your distribution channel, many agency portal, broker portal, your B2B channel partner. Can you handle that volume? And second is velocity, the speed of product creation, go to market, response time of your product UX, and also the variation which I showed you earlier on. There are so many different variation of insurance products. So the what can you look at to help you? So InsurMo is our middle office insurance platform. So we have got 1,600 employees spread across 40 countries. We have more than 500 customers using InsurMo. Right now, if you just look at the product SKU inside my middle office platform, we have got 5,000, lebih 5,000 product SKU. Sudah di platform ya, di dalam ya. So you can basically just create a product and launch it very, very fast. I've got already 2,000 plus insurance API, 1,000 plus non-insurance API, and 6,000 over channels inside this insurance platform. So currently, our latest figure over the last 12 months, $30 billion of GWP passes through our middle office platform right now. And every day, we are processing about more than 100 million policies. Of course, all this includes a lot of embedded insurance as well. So in terms of industries that we covered, so basically you can look across. So anybody, so it's not just insurance companies, brokers that can use our middle office platform. Anybody who wants to sell insurance, embed insurance products, they can actually use our platform. And we will help connect them to all the insurance partners that they have, which I will show you some examples later on. So if you look at InsurMo platform, you can do end-to-end from product creation, underwriting, policy issue, collections, claims, etc. But within that platform, we have got some very specific individual tools as well. For example, product engineering, data engineering, iHub API connections, etc. I think it's important for all the insurance company to be able to build your own front end while leveraging my middle office to help you speed up your connectivity across all your front end distribution channel. So I zoom into a few of the tools. So one of the tools is product configurator. So as I mentioned, right now, within just 1 week, you can create and launch a product. Second, Datamo, a place where we can collect all your raw data from many different servers, many different systems into one central place for you to very quickly be able to do all your data analytics. And number 3, Spock, which is a super high speed configuration. Just look at the numbers, right? I can calculate the premium of Seribu Mobile. 1 second. 70 years of life benefit illustration, 0.6 second. So I share with you some examples of how are some of our clients leveraging us. So first example, Tata Motor Finance. As you know, they are one of the largest motor finance company in India. So they are actually embedding insurance into loans actually. So we help connect to all their insurance partners using our middle office platform, and they actually embed across all the different products and do cross-selling of even life products as well and health. Next example, Ola, which is the equivalent of Gojek in Indonesia. So in Ola, we actually embed insurance across all the rides, all the two-wheeler, three-wheeler, all the packet delivery as well. So every day, there's more than 1 million policies being processed. FE Credit, so an example of a fintech. So this is a fintech owned by VP Bank and SMBC in Vietnam. Just look at the numbers. 16 product went live in 3 bulan. And we connect them across 9 insurer. 3 bulan. They can launch ready. SMBC, largest bank in Japan, they have a banking app, and within the banking app, there's a banca module. The banca module, we connect them across their 6 insurance channel partner. So anybody who buys a banca products in SMBC banca app, once they click on purchase, all the processing is done through our InsurMo platform. Next example, the State Bank of India. So across the State Bank of India, equivalent of BRI in Indonesia, they have more than 40 retail products. So all their products are sitting on InsurMo, and we connect them across to all their different distribution channel partners. Ayo, this is Africa's largest mobile network. So they also want to embed insurance for hospital cover, for insurance, life cover, etc. if anyone recharge, top up the mobile phone credit. Another example for automotive. So Omninex is owned by Mercedes-Benz, and currently we are rolling out across Germany, US, Italy, UK, and France. So we are basically replacing Salesforce with our policy admin app, with our billing, collection, and payments app as well. Crete, which is India's first complete motor ecosystem company. So they are one of the largest credit card payments app, where they want people to actually, if you use your credit card to pay for anything, they want to embed insurance products inside there, inside all these payments as well. Other example, global WTW, which is a global insurance broker. So this is just an example to show that even for broker, you want to work across different insurance partners. You want to connect to supermarkets, to mobile companies, to car garages. We will do all the connections for you very fast. And embedded insurance for railway. So this is example of India Railway, equivalent of our KAI in Indonesia. So every day we issue more than 1 million policies. So just to sum it up, the why, the what, and the how. So the why, I think it's important for everybody to start looking at having a decomposed architecture. So rather than just depending on your core system, you need to break the core system up by having a middleware office. So regardless of whether your middleware, your core system sudah tua, sudah lama, tidak apa-apa, I will just use API to pull all the information and process it, everything on my middle office platform. And the best part is, keep your current core system, tidak perlu ganti, and I will just move all the logic, all the processing on the middle office platform actually, to help you speed up all your connectivity, all your product configuration, all your connectivity across your internal systems, all the connectivity, most importantly, to all your different distribution front-end sales channel. So in short, I think it's a system that is faster, better, and more affordable than anyone else in the market at this moment. So the next, I would like to invite one of our partner called Ambit Global. So this is a statement from their Chief Digital Officer, Chia Hock Lai. He used to be the ex-founding president of Singapore FinTech Association. And I would like to invite their CEO, Mr. Dennis Ng, to give a presentation about our collaboration and a success story that we have with MSIG in Indonesia. Welcome, Dennis.
Thank you, Dr. Andrew. Selamat pagi. Good morning, everyone. I'm from Singapore, so pardon me, I can't speak Bahasa Indonesia for now. So, thanks, Dr. Andrew, for the introduction. We are Ambit Global Singapore is part of EFGH, Ambit Financial Group Holdings. We operate in Indonesia, Singapore, Botswana, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and we're moving to Nigeria and Ghana. And interestingly, all these countries that I mentioned, okay, not the countries I mentioned are not there. The countries I mentioned are in a situation where we are pushing hard and working with insure more on embedded insurance. Okay, let me just try to go to the next slide, but it's not happening as things would be. Never mind. So I'll just talk through it. So what we do currently in Indonesia, we work very closely with Insure More as our middleware, and we connect with MSIG Indonesia. Thank you very much for their collaboration as well in embedding insurance into small and medium enterprises loans. And obviously we work with partners here, and we make the journey as seamless as possible. And obviously to make that journey seamless is a lot of help with technology, and that's why we needed all the APIs to pull, call, and do that. So that's a use case in Indonesia. In Zimbabwe, we work with ZimPost, which is like your postal office equivalent. So we do last mile parcel delivery insurance, we do remittance insurance, we do personal accident insurance, and it's all embedded inside the customer journey. And you can imagine the population in that continent is growing, and the median age for that continent, it's about 19 years old, almost half of Indonesia. And the mobile penetration rate in Africa is also not as high as Indonesia, but is growing dramatically over the last few years. So I can't seem to pull up my deck, but it's okay. I'll just take us through this. So that's what we do. And in Ghana, what we are currently working on is embedding insurance into the power meters. Because every house there has a power meter, and what they do with the power meter is they allow the users of the power meter to submit via an app to let the authorities or the power authorities know how much power they use. So what we do is we embed insurance on the meter, whereby should something happen to the meter, it gets defaced or it gets broken, it's protected. Number two, we also protect the subscriber of the power for personal accident. So what at EFGH, what we try to do is really to close the protection gap in Africa, and of course in Indonesia as well. And in Nigeria, we also do embedded insurance with a bank. So basically we embed every transaction, whether you do a purchase, whether you buy something at the retail store, or you top up your mobile phone credits, because in most of the countries in Africa, it's what you call, you have to preload your airtime before you could use the phone. So we also embed inside the airtime journey as well. That's in Ghana. And in Botswana, we embed into solar panels, because we partner with one of the largest solar panel producers in Zimbabwe, and we supply the solar panels into Botswana, where Botswana builds a solar panel field to create solar energy. And every solar panel is embedded with home content insurance. Because when the solar panel breaks down, the first thing to go in a house is of grave concern, is the fridge. Right? When the fridge don't work, everything goes bad. Now, finally my slide is back. Thank you. So, okay, who am I? Okay, there's a small introduction about me. I spent more than 25 years in bank assurance and insurance. And obviously, I was in various organizations and met many friends before. I was in Citibank, I was in Allianz, and I was with Prudential, and I was a chief business officer across 24 markets. So that's a short introduction about me in 2 sentences. And Indonesia, I think earlier on we spoke about an interesting point that I noted down was we have 66 million businesses in Indonesia, 9 million registered. 9 million itself is already a huge number. So one of the focus we have at EFGH is also on the SME owners as well, because protecting business drives the economy as well. And the penetration rate of insurance in Indonesia is relatively low, as we can see. But I think it's poised to grow. And as what Dr. Andrew mentioned earlier on, embedded insurance is going at a CAGR of 25% from now to 2030, and we'll hit 3 trillion by the time 2030. So the opportunities are there, and that's what we focus on. And what is EFGH, right? Today, because EFGH basically is not because I'm lazy, it's not just because of the alphabets, right? It actually stands for Embed Financial Group Holdings. We do embedded insurance via web, app, USSD, and we have a stack of we can provide a full stack as a new insurer as well. And we are also a growth accelerator company. And obviously, no disrespect to insurance companies, sometimes we are more agile because we are a startup, we are nimble, we are quick, and our primary focus is really on customers, the customer journey per se. Now, I won't talk about this. So we have 2 primary products. SME Sure, which is targeted at small, medium enterprises. We provide protection solutions, business protection solutions. Safe is essentially an individual product. It's also on platforms. These are the 2 products that we deploy across in Africa. And our middleware is, nonetheless, is InsureMo across Africa and Asia. And you can see over there various back-end technologies. Most insurers across the continent or even across Africa has different back-end systems. And that problem was taken away by InsureMo. We just put a middleware and we can pull the APIs out from whatever back-end systems that they may have. Right? So that's how we partner with InsureMo. And just now, I think Dr. Andrew gave a better description of InsureMo, the number of APIs, the number of products that they have. So I won't belabor the fact. But the fact is that in the way we run EFGH is a B2B to C platform. So we partner with telcos, we partner with postal officers, we partner with transport companies, we partner with banks, and then we scale up the customer acquisition. And one of the key things we realized over time, of course, also based on my past experience, most insurance companies, one of the Achilles heel is really acquisition, how you acquire new customers. So we worked on a model, we call it the growth acquisition tool. Essentially, it's really to 10x the customer growth over time. And we use talent, Gen Z talent, because Gen X, like myself and Dr. Andrew, sometimes we not in tune with organizations, right? So we get Gen Z to help us. How do we acquire the younger audience now? Essentially, it's also to accelerate lead generation, enhance lead management, and really deploy meaningful leads. That's a key ingredient of the whole acquisition. And because we operate in Africa, one of the key things we talk a lot is about the UNDP, which is make sure it's sustainable, and we are really big on inclusive insurance and inclusive finance. And we are very big on micro insurance, and we are very bullish on embedding micro insurance in customer journey. So in Indonesia, we are happy and proud to be partnered with MSIG Indonesia, and I'm sure all of us are familiar with MSIG Indonesia over here. That's all I have. I made it with 2 minutes to spare. Thanks.
Hello. Thank you, Dennis and Dr. Andrew. Moving forward to the second speakers, Mr. Hon Hop, former Chief Regional Underwriting Officer, Allianz Asia Pacific. Hon was the original Chief Underwriting Officer for Property Casualty for Allianz in Asia Pacific, also overseeing the functions of legal, compliance, and corporate communication, and also as member of the Executive Board of Management, which is responsible for setting and executing Allianz growth strategy in Asia. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Selamat pagi and good morning. Thanks, it's an honor speaking here. And I'll try to make it less heavy on slides, but giving you real-life examples, what's actually happening in the insurance industry as we speak in relation to platforms, digital tools, artificial intelligence. Maybe a very few words about my background, because I'm first time speaking on this event, but often speaking on insurance conferences, business conferences in London or Hong Kong or Singapore. So I've been 18 years with Allianz and have, as mentioned, kind of two legs. On the one hand side, very strong on governance. So I'm a lawyer in Germany and New York and overseeing a lot of governance. But on the second leg, having been 18 years in underwriting, property casualty, portfolio management, pricing, and also claims. More recently, before returning to Asia, in our home country company, Allianz, and responsible for a portfolio of like $7 billion US, and running it on the P&C side, from retail, motor, home insurance, but also up to commercial, mid-corp, and in previous roles for Central Eastern Europe, are also including aviation, marine, and specialty. So what I'm going to talk about is what is happening, let's say, in the next 1 to 2 years in the world with impact on our insurance value chain. And just to give you an example how this can look like and will look like. So a lot of big companies, not only Allianz, so these are the big insurers globally, are experimenting with tools like ChatGPT, platforms, external providers of data, can be related to weather, risk assessment, etc. It's quite small. I read it. For me, the important thing is, if we look back only like 1 or 2 years, all this stuff was not really accurate. So if you had a translation tool, was not really working out that well. If you have a tool, you know, reading a text, or you do dictating your text, was also not really accurate. If you ask your, like what we call machine or ChatGPT, was very generic, and you could immediately feel like, that's not a human. So when we ask right now our internal ChatGPT at Allianz, and why we have a Allianz ChatGPT, this tool, because as soon as you are outside and maybe you read about the cases Samsung or etc., also your data are suddenly in the public space, and this you want to avoid, so you have a kind of a ring fence. So, but that's a real one. So basically asking this tool in the Allianz world, just give me a quote about the power of artificial intelligence in the insurance value claim. And within milliseconds, the tool basically goes through all the data available, all what's out there, all what had ever been said, and says, AI insurance is like a master key. It unlocks the potential of data, opens door to personalized service, and secures the future with predictive precision, transforming the value chain into a tapestry of tailored solutions and trust. Still quite generic, but if we really go through, this is what insurance is about. And maybe let me take you through what's coming up now as the key trends for insurance going forward. And I used to say, we work a lot, you know, with platforms, with external providers, but a platform itself is not what is it about, right? It's what the platform or a platform can deliver. A data processing, a connectivity, a marketplace, relation to external providers, fraud detection, weather prediction. So it's what the platform brings into your ecosystem in a safe way. And the biggest trends right now globally, and it starts in banking and insurance, already in implementation and pilots, is what we call generative AI. So the step where artificial intelligence is not just repeating data, but really putting it together in a different way and making it useful for you. Then the LAP or LLM, this is the hottest topic globally. Also here in Indonesia, the big companies reaching out for the language, Bahasa, because so many people actually speak it. And English, French, German, a lot of the classic languages are already done. This is large language models and natural language processing. What does that mean? That does mean there are tools out. You will not even realize anymore it's not a human speaking to you. And you can speak in each language you want. And in real time, it's translated. So it's already tested, for example, somebody speaking Bahasa, somebody speaking Spanish or Japanese. These two people can talk in real time with the help of these tools, and it just works in a high level of accuracy. And that's the new thing. Like 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, the quality was not good enough. Now the quality of voice recognition, natural language processing, and it's the same for text, what we call OCR, meaning like the machine, the computer can read a written text, knows what it's about, route it to the right departments. This is all now at a level where we can work with. And I will later in the end show you 3 very tangible use cases where the big insurers are already piloting, and there is a lot of money and winning on the market involved, because the first really getting this done on a market will just win. I will tangibly show this. AI democratization just means the usage goes up, so people use it, especially the younger generation. I mean, if you have kids or grandkids, you see sometimes they even don't like to talk on the phone anymore. Even if they sit at the same table, they like to chat. They don't have any issue to talk to a voice bot. Sometimes maybe even prefer instead of talking to a human. Responsible and explainable AI means it always needs to be transparent. Insurance is a trust business, so we all should never use the tools without being open, transparent towards our customers. Then again, looking into the insurance value chain, we see where will the first impact go? Where do we really invest? Where is the parts where we can use these tools and platforms best? And cut a long story short, and I will make examples in that one, it's right now, leading in pricing and underwriting, in classic operations, customer interactions, call centers, policy administration, and in claims. To make just one example, and you see already in terms of efficiency impact, what it means old world, classic world, compared to the new world. Like let's imagine a customer changed the address or getting married or has any change in particular need to inform the insurer. So before it was maybe you call an agent, you call a call center, maybe you wrote a letter even, paper-based. These times are not so long ago. Maybe you send an email. Nevertheless, it took quite a while till it was processed, till it was in the system, till confirmation came back to you, easily up to 3, 4, 5 days if you're lucky. Now the whole thing, and this is up and running, works within a few minutes. So customer calls a so-called voice bot, machine on the other side. The machine nowadays is actually not only able to understand what the customer is saying, the machine is actually able to feel and realize what's the mood of the customer. Is the customer angry? Is the customer disappointed? Is the customer happy? This again means, is it a good time maybe to cross-sell, upsell, ask different things? Is it maybe a time to slow down, first ask how you are? This is all happening as we speak. The detection can see the mood, can see where are you from, can even realize dialects. So imagine the power of now the machine in the background realizing, oh, this customer is maybe from this island or this province, speak a very specific dialect, and immediately able to mimic that and answer and speak not only in the same language, but in the same dialect. You will have immediately a connection which is very different. Before, you realize, that's actually a voice bot. This is very, very technical. These new tools, you won't realize it's not a human anymore. And the younger generation actually, they do not care whether it's a human or it's a machine which is working. So then the next step is you get offered, to just upload the address change, the marriage certificate via WhatsApp, SMS or a link. The machine recognizes it, checks it by itself, can immediately compare is the seal correct, is it the right authority, puts it in the back office, cut a long story short, within a few minutes, the whole thing is closed. Now imagine if we close the value chain, what it means also for an insurance company on a market. The efficiency is a different way, customers still happy, but you do not need all these people, all these tools from before. And that also means on this part you save and you can give it in competitive pricing, meaning your good products you can still bring in, but on a lower price. And that is what I meant. If you do this rate right in a portfolio, you will really lead the market. Then how we look where to invest. And for big insurers, it's like you have a lot of money, but it's very important to know where to put in. And it's not only having maybe a good opportunity or a good pool. So we always look into 3 things, how to steer investment, route investments, where to invest in platforms, in external providers, or even maybe buy startups. It's like, what is the value pool? Meaning if I take this on, I'm able to implement into my insurance company. What is actually the value pool? What is the business case coming out if I scale it up? So that's the first question we ask. The second, adoption potential. The best tool and the best value pool does not help if you are not able to implement, make it really your people use it, and it can be adapted across the company. A usual approach, we had the discussion just before, is what we call a lighthouse, or we just pilot it in a small section of your business. If that works out well and you see, then you adopt it over the big chain. And technical feasibility. Of course, sometimes all the others are given, it's very well, but it's just not yet able to technically implement, to connect maybe to your back office, to have the right interfaces that it works out in the right way. And this is now, and I will only highlight in the end, like really tangible use cases. This is the whole map, basically, no need to read through in detail. There's just the insurance value chain starting from marketing, distribution, sales, go all the way via pricing, underwriting, operations, claims to after sales or investment and management, all that, plus central functions. Then clustered according to where's really value now in the next, let's say, 1, 2, 3 years, where you invest and where are use cases making maybe your customer happy, but also good for the profitability and the bottom line of your company. And let me just get 3 use cases, and let me underline, this is not theory. This is happening as we sit here, as we speak. It's in pilot stages and big insurers are already working on that one. The first one is classic operations. If you are a big insurer, you have call centers. Call centers in your countries, and call centers may be in other countries serving different languages. For example, very big insurers like Allianz, you have literally thousands of people in India in call centers serving the English-speaking world, either as a primary call center or at least as a backup for nights, emergency, weekends, and all that. So they service the customers. They do from claims, first notification of losses, they do policy administration, they answer calls and questions to policies, etc. The same, for example, we have on Mauritius for the French-speaking world, and so we operate these call centers, classic call centers with many, many people. Within a very short time, and you see it that also the investments where they go, they are not going into the best telephone software anymore, into training the people. They go into this very, very new artificial intelligence-based voice bots. So imagine in the near future, and I'm not talking about down in 10 years, it will happen that there's not a huge call center with thousands of people. There's sitting a big computer and a very few people. And this new platform-based, AI tool-based voice bots being able to understand different languages, to really understand what is it about, being able to answer in real time, being able to actually mimic emotions, take up dialects, and getting the same thing just done in a smooth way, making the customer still happy, this is coming. And now imagine the impact on insurance value chain with operations. You don't need all these call centers anymore. It's very small. Only a very small share of very complex cases, of very challenging cases will remain with human interaction. And there are already a lot of studies, and if you look into like where the big companies invest, it will basically replace, they say, about 90% of the classic call centers. And I'm a big supporter, fan of human interaction. I believe you will still need sales agents to talk to a customer, human to human. I still believe you will have real people, especially if something more serious happens. If your house is on fire, if you had a car crash, if people are injured, you just don't want to talk to a machine. You want this human interaction. However, anything besides that, the simple scratch, maybe the water leakage, whatever it is, classic things, will completely be done straight through, based with voice bots, chat bots, uploading, without any human interaction. That's translated in efficiency, and this is translated also, of course, in operating profit. And you can now decide, maybe you just, you know, put some back in the pricing because your load is less, and then imagine what it means for your competition. The one who cracks that will just win market share, big time. That's why everybody's investing in this one. Second of the three examples is pricing and underwriting. We came, or also when I grew up in that, from a world where we said underwriting is art, is also a bit gut feeling, is experience. So a good underwriter knows what's a good risk and what's the pricing. If we narrow this down, gut feeling is nothing else than experience. Experience is data points collected over the years, from a young underwriter to growing, having seen many things. Now a machine is able to see millions of cases globally, same risk, history, what happened, which kind of claims were, and put it together. And so there are two things in underwriting and pricing which will make you win. It's accuracy of information and speed. So don't let, especially in commercial, customer wait too long for your quote. So you need, and that's the biggest challenge, come up with the right price for the right risk which you want to take. And this, of course, works with all these tools better, because they give you the information publicly available, whatever is out there, what science said, what legal cases were. Within milliseconds, you know, this is now accessible. Not a single underwriter would be able to do that. And this is happening as of now. So in the next 1-2 years, you will see a huge shift. The big corporations, companies in insurance will start, and it will come everywhere. It's only a question of time. And last case of the three I wanted to present is claims experience. Claims experience is where we say the moment where a customer, a client needs the insurance most. This is what we also call the moment of trust. And this is what a customer always will remember, right? Customer doesn't remember, does it take a bit longer to change your address or not? Is it maybe a little bit more expensive or not for a car insurance? But a customer will remember how he felt in the moment of claim, how he was taken care of, and how the insurance basically fulfilled the promise. And there is also a lot of the money involved, right? Depending on loss ratio and combined ratio, this is where 60–70% of your bottom line impact is made, is what's going out in claims. So now imagine, and the first step is you have everything in place, meaning maybe you can actually prevent a claim. Where a lot of insurers invest right now is the best claim is actually the one not happening. How can we help customers to prevent? In a lot of countries, we right now work with external providers, platforms, processing huge amounts of weather data. And the same, which is true for language processing and OCRs for weather. The accuracy of weather prediction in the last years, especially if it's about local, was not good enough. Of course, you could say there's a hurricane. Of course, you could say there's a huge storm. But to being precise enough on a zip code, on a village, or even a street level was not possible before. Right now, we have reached the stage. And so we, in many countries, test sending our customers a very specific warning. If a flood, a flash flood, a hail, a snowstorm coming. And guess what? If it's precise enough, customers are super happy. They bring the car, the family, all the stuff in safety, at least to a share, saving money for us because it prevents claims. But it makes the customer really happy because also they talk to the neighbors and said, I got this SMS. The only important thing is no wrong warnings. We tested it 2–3 years before and it was not accurate. Too many false warnings. So we send warning SMS and nothing happens. You can do once, twice, then the customer not happy. But on the other hand, if you send a warning and like 20 minutes later it really is icy on the road or storm coming or severe thunderstorm, customers are very happy. So and this is working as the first step. The second is completely interacted in claims. Now we work with platforms on provider so that a car or something built in the car or the phone being in the car tells us, oh, there's an accident. I even don't need to wait for the customer call me. I can reach out and say, oh, there was an accident. Are you okay? Can we help? And the most recent options is you not only know immediately what happened to the car, because it's also interconnected that in the moment the accident happens, you actually know exactly what happened to the car and how expensive will be the repair. But you have the same now with startups doing a lot of research and work with AI in Israel and other countries. You know exactly what might happen to the people, because with the data about braking, acceleration, impact, you might know exactly if somebody is sitting in the front right seat, this is the injuries. If some kid is sitting in the back, after this impact and accident, this is the injuries. And what does it mean? You can save life. Because if you know what happened to the people in the car, you can send the right help. And this is where also pilotings are already working with insurance. Now imagine really the impact you have on your customer life, because if you know what happened and you know maybe need to send a helicopter, maybe need to send an emergency doctor, maybe not go to this hospital, but go to this hospital because they are specialized. In that moment, you make a huge difference, which is way beyond what insurance is doing. And this is where we are working right now to making the different claims experience completely more customer friendly. The simple scratch in a car, no headache. Everybody maybe just wants to upload the photo. We either pay or send to a repair shop. And this is all working. Just on a humorous note, don't be too fast, because then the customer gets also like, that can't be. Because the repair estimate for a cash settlement can be now with the AI tool so fast that in milliseconds I know how much is the damage, and then I can say, the customer, you want to go repair shop, I pay you this and this money. Then the customer says, wait a moment, how can you know within like a minute? So then you put in a time loop. But this is actually happening as we speak, and we have in the feedback also that customers actually are happy with this experience, lifetime updates, being involved and not like working with an agency. I think later in the panel we have more time to discuss, but so far from my side and from the business, where as we speak really things happening in the insurance industry and where the big changes are coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hohenhoff. Okay, our next speaker is Mr. Priyang Dwivedi as Digital Offering Sales Lead at DXX Technology. Mr. Priyang Dwivedi has over 20 years of experience across sales, solutioning, and business management roles in the both US and Asian markets. Over to you, Mr. Priyang. Thank you.
Let me try again. Okay. Thank you for the introduction. Very good morning to all of you. It's a pleasure to be back here. I was here last year as well, and it's a pleasure to be back here amongst you. First and foremost, let me start by thanking the organizers and all of you to be present here and making this a grand event. AAUI sessions have always been very informative. I was just keenly listening to our panelists. I think that is something, a big takeaway for us. Now, with respect to my topic, I'll be talking about the role of digital platforms and AI in transforming insurance. To begin with, let me introduce myself. I am Priyang Dwivedi. I have been working for DXC Technology for over 14 years now. I lead the insurance business in ASEAN for DXC. Now, those of you who are not aware who DXC is, these are some numbers that talk about our presence in insurance. We are world's largest software and services provider for insurance sector. We work across life insurance, general insurance, group insurance or EB business. We work with reinsurers, we work with brokers, We touch end-to-end spectrum of insurance cycle. We work in London market, we work in ASEAN, we work across all the countries. For insurance software and services, we are working across 70 countries. And the number of people who are engaged just doing insurance solutions day in and out are around 13,000. Now with that scale, we are the largest, but we aspire to become the best as well. Now in this regard, to become the best, we have been working with partners, with insurance companies, with technologists, with domain experts, on a number of areas where transformation in insurance is key. Now to begin with, let me try and recap what I was mentioning on stage around a year back. My presentation last year was like transformation is happening very fast in Indonesia. And the current wave of transformation will surely be taking the workloads on cloud. Now, I was mentioning earlier, around a year back, that within the next couple of years or so, you'll see a lot of insurance companies trying to take their core system on cloud. It hasn't started then, but if you see the results, it has been just 1 year since the last event. Between 27th Rendezvous to 28th, DXC has worked with 3 insurance companies here in Indonesia to take their policy admin system, the entire peripheral applications, front end, workflows, document management, everything on cloud. We have one large life insurance company which has taken our DXC Assure integral platform. They have gone in software as a service mode and they have deployed in all their workloads on AWS cloud. We have one large general insurance company, and those who are familiar, we met them yesterday as well. We're just starting their journey next week. They are starting their digital transformation by moving on DXC Assure Integral General Insurance on cloud. And then we have an implementation in progress for, again, a large insurance company who are taking their EB-Pass, health and group portfolio business in Indonesia, somewhere where I was connected with Dennis also earlier for the group portfolio too. So that's the extent of transformation which is happening, and it is happening at a very, very fast pace. We thought it would take another couple of years, but if you look at it, within a year itself, 3 insurance companies have started their end-to-end transformation, moving on a software as a service platform. Now why it is key for us to understand that? Because no longer technology is just an enabler. Now technology has become the life bloodline of insurance companies when they are reaching out to their customers. Now what you see out here is not just a set of applications. What you see out here is there's an engagement layer, there's an API orchestration layer, and then there are lean systems behind. Now what we as technologists are trying to do is, we are trying to make these applications interact with each other. So there are basically producers of data and consumers of data. Now a policyholder can consume that or produce that information. And all we are trying to do is simplify those conversations, simplify those interactions, bring them on mobile, bring them on internet, use AI, as you were just hearing, to serve them better, improve our operational efficiency and others. What DXC has done is, we have provided this entire journey, this entire interaction of our front-end portals to a back office, lean back office on AWS cloud, offering them as a subscription base on software as a service. And that is how we are trying to lead that transformation. But that doesn't mean if you're not ready for it, then what happens? Now, it is something like horses for courses kind of thing. If you think your current IT estate is something that you have invested and you're not ready to make the change immediately, what we are trying to do is, we are trying to help to protect your investment, and that is what we call as protect strategy. In this protect strategy, what happens is, you are able to use your current ecosystem, use certain applications. You may start with AI, you may start with portals, you may start with mobile apps, or you may start with generating certain APIs. That is one way of doing it. But what we are trying to ensure is whatever happens in any case, whatever investment you are making now, it can be reused in future. Second strategy is extend. With your current IT estate, you can extend. For an example can be extend a product definition in a product engine and then use it for different channels, whether it's bank or e-commerce and others, as well as a policy admin system. Essentially, what you try to do in such strategy is extend the life of your current IT estate, enable speed to market, and wait for the right time for transformation. And for those who are ready for transformation, I just mentioned what happened within the last year. 3 of the insurance company have started that journey. But yeah, it requires a lot of rigor. It is a long drawn process. There are risks involved. But it is a journey that everyone should take. Now, as I move ahead, we did hear on AI, the impact of that on transformation. Now, as a company which is providing insurance services in 70 countries and was leading on the AI side as well, we have divided into 3 parts. We heard certain examples from my co-panelists just a while back earlier on customer-related AI. So that is what we call as a foundation for customer AI on hybrid call center or using a Gen AI for, let's say, a knowledge assistant or a chatbot. We are then also looking at the internal processes of operations for a company specific level. And then we are looking at how we can collaborate with the community too. In this regard, what DXC has done is, we have brought some certain offerings. If you want to do a report dashboard analytics, we have something called DXC Assure Insights. If you want to go beyond that, you're looking at conversational AI, maybe you're using Alexa and many other areas to help in the customer acquisition cycle. Yes, we have done that. Now the next wave is about Gen AI. Now in Gen AI, there are certain use cases that we have brought up. We heard certain very good use cases just a while back earlier. Now let me try and give you a demo and a quick example of something which is, let's say, not very crucial if you're not looking at it, but it is a very important and a very essential step when you do a transformation. Let me start with a quick 1-minute demo for that, and if I can request the video to be played. Take a look at it and see how AI can help.
Executing over 200 conversion projects and transitioning more than 20 million policies from various legacy systems, DXC has built an AI-powered conversion toolkit. These tools are designed to streamline and automate the transformation process. In this demo, I'll be showing you one of the tools in the toolkit. With Integral's product data generator, product documentation is ingested into the AI tool to accelerate fact sheet creation and product table coding. There are 6 steps to generating a product from a specification or brochure. To start, we upload the product documentation and classify them according to their type, for example, term or traditional insurance. You can see the product name, type, and the status of the document. Once past classification, we can start the fact sheet data extraction process. This is where the AI draws out the information and assigns it according to applicable rules. There are 2 views, a default compact view and an expanded view. In the fact sheet, you will see the attributes of the product, such as the states, codes, and ages. You can edit and adjust this information. For example, if it says not found, you can add the required detail. When complete, approve, and submit. The fact sheet can be downloaded in a usable format, such as JSON or CSV. In this example, the CSV can be loaded into a spreadsheet with all of the columns of defined data ready to be ingested by the Assure Integral product engine. The product data generator is one of the tools in the DXC Assure Accelerator toolkit. These AI-powered tools streamline and automate migrations and conversions, yielding improvements in speed, quality, predictability, and cost reduction.
So the example that you just saw was, there were a set of product specifications, and it's difficult to understand that and put it back in the system. What the AI tool just did was pick up all the relevant information and feed it back to your product engine or a policy admin system, which it can be used. Now, this becomes a very crucial step when you're especially looking to migrate from an older legacy system to a newer platform. So there are many such examples where AI is helping, and this wave is coming. So anyone who is thinking like, okay, we still have time to decide how to be a part of AI wave, I think the time is right. And possibly, let me make another prediction, by the time in the next 2 years we will be here, we'll be just talking about the AI wave and how it has impacted the insurance business. Now, when AI wave is happening, obviously there are questions. Insurance is a very regulated industry. The questions are on the ethics of it, on the discrimination which might come in, your models can hallucinate, it may have some biases. Now, how do you work with that? Now, we are working very closely with regulators, like NAIC and European regulators, also in ASEAN and in Singapore specifically. Now, we are trying to look at it, how best we can test and build the trust. The accuracy levels are increasing day by day. When we do a benefit versus risk analysis, benefits far, far, far outweigh the risks which are associated. We understand that the outcome does matter. There will be certain ethical dilemma till the time testing and technology and training evolve further. But as we move along in this transformation journey, AI will play a very, very important role. On this note, I'll try to move ahead and mention that how we are doing this with our partners as well. Now, when we have to bring in AI with the infrastructure and details, we have partners like Red Hat, we have partners like AWS. Now, for partners like Red Hat, we are taking their help on automation of workloads, on scaling up, on provisioning, on DevOps, on security, and many others. And yes, then we have our partners like AWS, who are helping us go together to insurance companies, reinsurance companies, brokers, and help bring this transformation to your home. On this note, I'd like to call on the stage my partner from AWS. He heads the ASEAN Business Development for AWS. Please welcome Nipun Grover to take you through the next set of presentation. Nipun.
Good morning, everyone. So I think, as Priyank mentioned, my name is Nipun Grover. I lead the insurance business development and go-to-market for Amazon Web Services. I'll not say I'm a technologist, though I work for a technology company. So I used to work for insurance sectors, worked for Liberty Mutual as the chief distribution officer. Prior to that was with Allianz, heading up their bank assurance partnerships and affinity business. I think if you look at Indonesia for AWS, it's a very exciting market for us. You guys might have seen in 2021, we made a huge investment in Indonesia where we opened up a region in Indonesia by investing $5 billion into the market. So I think how we are working, I think if you look at insurance, we work across the whole value chain in terms of insurance, right? So from seamless distribution to automated process, dynamic pricing models. So we don't only focus on looking at the top line or the bottom line of the company, right? We look at automating the whole process. I think I heard a lot about generative AI. Generative AI is another area where Amazon has massively invested. And now we are integrating generative AI across the whole value chain, right? And in order for us to do that, we need to have a strong core insurance strategy. And I think that's where we start working with our partners like DXC, which can actually help in implementing a strong core insurance strategy, because without having any core strategy in place, you cannot do much, right? I think if you want to automate any of the processes or do any artificial intelligence, machine learning, Gen AI, I think data is one of the key pillars in order for you to do that. And that's why I think if you look at insurance companies, they have huge amounts of data. And when I was working for insurance companies as well, we used to have so much data, but we actually never knew what to do with the data. a lot of data was actually sitting in paper forms. They were sitting in policy admin system. They were sitting in various different applications, and we had no idea how we can actually leverage this data in a manner which actually helps in driving customer outcomes, right? So we heard that, and as AWS, we launched a solution which we call it as Insurance Lake, which actually helps you to have a specific data lake strategy in 30 minutes. And it comes with pre-built data models, and you're able to accelerate your journey very quickly. Because if you look at most of the insurance companies, they say data, it takes very long. It's an expensive proposition. It takes about 18 months journey. But from an AWS perspective, we are now able to automate that journey really, really quickly. I think one of the things which we have been hearing, and especially with Indonesia as a market, Indonesia has a lot of young population who are digital savvy, right? So I think engagement with that digital population is also a very key focus for most of the insurance. If you look at Indonesia, for example, they have a lot of small various islands, and in order for us to reach that customer base in that market is not easy as compared to some of the more mature markets like Singapore and Hong Kong. So I think engagement with this population through digital channels is the only way you can go about it. And Amazon has invested a lot in how you're actually interacting and building a comprehensive digital platforms, right? And again, for those investments, we are also working with our partners like DXC. We are working with other ecosystem providers and ensuring that we have a robust digital strategy in place, which is backed by data analytics and reaching the right customer at the right time. I think one of the things which everybody have been talking about, and I've been having a lot of conversations with not only in Indonesia, but with customers across the region, is Gen AI, right? A lot of board members are under pressure to do something around Gen AI. I was actually consulting with one of the biggest insurance companies in Singapore, and I was doing a presentation to board, and they wanted to get a viewpoint from Amazon on how they should be progressing on their Gen AI journey. So again, if you look at generative AI is now being used across the whole value chain. And as Priyank was saying, let's make a prediction, right? I think by the time we are here next year, a lot of insurance companies would have already implemented Gen AI. There would have been case studies, right? But from where Amazon has already implemented Gen AI, a lot of Gen AI is being implemented. I think you mentioned about the Allianz GPT as well, right? I think Gen AI, most of the insurance companies are still a bit skeptical about releasing Gen AI to the customer-facing audience. They are using Gen AI as an internal knowledge management tool before they become very comfortable and launching it to their customer. We have done implementation where Gen AI or generative AI is being used as underwriting assistance. Underwriters, we receive a lot of documents. How do you extract the right amount of information from those documents? That's another area where generative AI is being used at. If you look at call center summarization, I'll not say most of the insurance companies have released generative AI in terms of call center and exposing generative AI to customers, but they are actually helping as assistants of the call center people. So again, I think if you look at it, insurance is transforming really quickly. And to recap my discussion, I think Amazon as a company has already invested $5 billion in this region. We are looking at supporting insurance companies in taking this journey, especially towards digital transformation and working with partners like DXC. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to share. If you have any questions, we can always have a discussion about how AWS can support you. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Priyank and partner. So our last speaker is Ibu Farah Fitria Ramayanti. Ibu Farah assumed the role of Director of Digital Business at Peruri in 2023. Ibu Farah brings a wealth of experience in the IT and digital realms, including the development of business application and customer experience management platform, IT planning and architecture, and also IT controlling. Over to you, Ibu Farah. Thank you.
Terima kasih. Mungkin saya akan bawa dalam I speak in bahasa. Mungkin biar nggak ini ya, saya mau kasih pantun dulu. Jadi ini pantun tentang asuransi sama Bali katanya. Di Bali ada Pantai Kute. Wisatawan datang berbondong-bondong. Asuransi janganlah lupa, biar liburan tetap tenang dan senang.
Cakep.
Ada lagi. Di Ubud ada sawah hijau, pemandangan indah bikin hati riang. Asuransi janganlah lalai, biar tubuh sehat, dompet pun tenang. Oke, ini satu lagi terakhir biar ini. Liburan ke Bali nikmati senja, pantainya indah menenangkan hati. Asuransi siap lindungi setiap rencana, Peruri hadir amankan dokumen pasti. Kalau yang ini iklan, oke. Terima kasih untuk waktunya. Jadi mungkin ini saya mau bicara tentang digital trust. Apa sih sebenarnya digital trust? Tadi speaker-speaker sebelumnya bicara tentang bagaimana leveraging, bagaimana bisnisnya. Tapi menurut saya paling penting adalah nature dari orang Indonesia. Orang Indonesia, saya adalah pencinta asuransi. Saya mungkin punya 30 polis karena saya ngerasa asuransi itu punya filosofi yang bagus. Yang pertama adalah as long as masih ada cinta di dunia ini, asuransi masih akan tetap ada. Karena asuransi hanyalah untuk orang-orang yang kita cintai. Gitu ya. Oke, next mungkin. Oh ini ya. Oh, sorry. Nah mungkin kalau misalnya kita ngelihat nggak banyak yang tahu tentang Peruri, mungkin saya terima kasih dulu kepada AAUI yang telah mengundang Peruri di sini. Peruri mungkin terkenalnya dengan cetak uang, tapi kami sudah melakukan banyak transformasi dari mulai Peruri 1.0 sampai sekarang 3.0 kita ada sebagai end-to-end high security teknologi dan juga kita ada di appointing sebagai Ghost Tech. Mungkin kalau misalnya kita melihat Peruri transformationnya mulai dari kita punya 4 pilar bisnis, yaitu banknote security printing, kemudian digital security sama government teknologi. Ini mungkin yang terakhir ya, bagaimana inovasi-inovasi yang dibikin oleh pemerintah Indonesia sehingga kita bisa melakukan proses digitalisasi, tidak hanya digitalisasi di korporasi tapi juga kita transform the nation. Nah mungkin kalau misalnya kita melihat sebenarnya tadi trust. Gimana sih caranya kita percaya kalau misalnya bicara, oh ini sekarang kita polis kita masih manual, kemudian sekarang kita mau bicara digitalisasi, bagaimana kita mau bikin modelnya namanya e-polis gitu. Nah kalau kita manusia, kita biasanya itu membuat seseorang itu bisa percaya atau trust itu dibangun dengan intelijensinya kita, dengan sense-nya kita, dengan memoria kita. Oh ya ini orangnya baik, orangnya terpercaya, saya pernah dealing sama dia dan dia oke gitu ya. Tapi kalau misalnya bagaimana dengan digital? Digital pada saat dia bicara trust, yang akan dilakukan adalah bagaimana dilakukan proses identifikasinya seperti apa. Perlu security tools enggak? Kemudian set informasinya atau misalnya parameter apa saja yang bisa dijadikan oleh toolsnya digital untuk memastikan bahwa itu adalah trust. Nah itu mungkin yang kalau misalnya kita dari sekarang asuransi berkembang sangat pesat, kita bicara teknologi yang bisa membuat ini menjadi lebih menarik gitu ya. Nah kalau kita melihat digital trust itu sebenarnya extend beyond dari security itu sendiri. Kalau kita melihat apa sih sebenarnya digital trust, bahasa paling gampangnya digital trust itu bagaimana kita mengalign privacy controls, kemudian privilege, orangnya benar apa enggak, the right user has the right access, kemudian dia itu benar-benar datanya benar, kemudian alasannya benar, dan yang paling benar, yang paling terakhir adalah purpose-nya seperti apa. Jadi the right user has the right access to the right data for the right reason and the right purpose. Ini mungkin yang kalau misalnya kita melihat dari seluruh kehidupan, pada saat kita bicara digital trust, kita harus melihat orangnya dulu, kemudian apa yang mau dilakukan, setelah itu bagaimana cara cara melakukannya. Dan itu memastikan semuanya secure. Nah, sekarang kita bicara dari trust to digital trust. Kalau misalnya kita manusia, kita pengennya itu simple. Kita pengennya kalau misalnya kita mau apply polis asuransi atau seperti apa itu kita pengennya semuanya itu beres. Nggak usah ngisi-ngisi, nggak usah segala macam. Jadi kita bicaranya security with simplicity. Padahal kalau kita bicara di teknologi digitalnya, itu banyak sekali yang harus dilakukan. Jadi mungkin kalau misalnya istilahnya kita itu suatu hal yang simpel itu pasti banyak insinyur bowo di belakangnya. Itu kompleks banget jadi di belakang. Jadi pasti effortnya itu besar sekali untuk membuat segala sesuatu itu menjadi simpel. Jadi kalau misalnya kita sebagai user atau sebagai pengguna kita pengennya security itu pakai simplicity. Tapi kita harus melihat bahwa tidak hanya dari sisi user, tapi kita pastikan device-nya juga secure, activity-nya yang dilakukan atau bisnis prosesnya misalnya pada saat mulai dari pipeline sampai pembuatan polis, sampai dengan dia claim itu bisnis prosesnya itu juga secure, environment-nya terjaga, kemudian yang paling penting adalah behavior dari yang semua stakeholder-nya. Nah, kalau kita ngelihat sebenarnya untuk trust framework-nya itu ada berbagai macam, tapi yang penting adalah bagaimana foundation of trust itu sendiri. Kemudian setelah itu baru kita bicara bagaimana digital transformation yang dilakukan, bagaimana customer kita bisa confidence untuk itu. Dan yang paling penting, yang paling susah dan yang biasanya paling terakhir adalah regulation atau regulatory compliance-nya. Jadi ada yang namanya digital trust framework, kita bicara bagaimana itu security dan reliability-nya, bagaimana accountability dan insight-nya seperti apa, dan tentu saja semuanya itu harus inklusif, etik, kemudian semuanya bisa responsible seperti itu. Nah, challenge kalau pada saat kita melakukan digital trust di dunia asuransi seperti apa sih? Yang pertama yang paling common adalah cyber security risk. Jadi mungkin kalau kita ngelihat data bocor gitu ya. Jadi nggak cuma atap yang bocor tapi bocor alusnya juga ada di data. Jadi kita ngelihat sebenarnya resiko terbesar dari pada saat kita bicara transformasi digital atau digital trust di dunia asuransi itu ya ada di cyber security. Kemudian bagaimana kita memastikan bahwa peraturan yang ada itu bisa mendukung dan bisa align. Jadi semua keterpaduan dan interoperability itu bisa terjadi. Nah, teknologi juga bisa membuat itu menjadi satu disruptif. Jadi kalau dulu itu bikin polis itu agentnya datang, dia approach sama kita lama, udah gitu nanti baru kita ini nanti dia kasih formulirnya, nanti kita tanda tangan, nanti baru jadi polis, nanti juga proses klaimnya juga memastikan semua peraturan yang ada itu terpenuhi. Kalau enggak ya dia nggak bisa klaim. Nah, dokumen-dokumen pendukungnya itu yang harus disediakan. Nah, dengan digital sebenarnya semuanya menjadi lebih transparan ya. Nah, kita ngelihat bahwa teknologi tadi udah disebutkan ada AI, ada blockchain atau apapun ini teknologi emerging yang terjadi sebenarnya itu adalah satu enabler yang penting bagi kita bagaimana nanti kita bisa membuat ini menjadi efektif. Challenge ini tentu saja membuat kalau saya tuh selalu ngelihatnya gini, pada saat Peruri di appoint jadi GovTech, semuanya ngelihatnya gini, digital itu murah, padahal sebenarnya digital itu affordable, karena dia harus kita relasikan dengan value yang didapat. Jadi kalau misalnya value-nya itu penting, ya udah why not. Jadi mungkin kalau misalnya tadi saya mau ada challenge sedikit untuk misalnya insurtech. Oh sekarang itu kita mau bikin polis yang harganya cuma 20.000 atau 5.000, ataupun misalnya kurang dari 100.000. Padahal kalau misalnya kita ngelihat peraturan dunia itu ada namanya materai. Lah materainya aja 10.000. Lah kalau polisnya 2.000 atau 5.000 gimana cara materaikannya gitu. Itu mungkin nanti dengan teman-teman dari OJK ataupun dari regulatory ataupun dari asosiasi nanti kita bisa berpikir nextnya seperti apa. Nah, challenge tadi sama opportunity itu emang harus dibalas. Jadi semua security berbanding terbalik dengan kenyamanan, tapi tetap saja kalau kita bicara trust itu dimulai dari will-nya punya apa enggak. Nah, ini saya mau cerita sedikit tentang kenapa kita ngelihat government atau pemerintah Indonesia punya INA Digital, itu adalah GovTech-nya Indonesia dan Peruri di-appoint sebagai GovTech. Jadi kita kemarin sudah launching terbatas 3 hal, itu namanya INAPAS, INAKU, dan INAGov. Nah, INAPAS ini akan dipakai oleh seluruh warga negara sebagai digital identity. Jadi semua warga negara akan punya digital identity atau digital ID atau national digital ID untuk melakukan semua transaksi digital yang dilakukan di negara ini. Jadi ini single transaksi karena kita bicara kalau sekarang ini semua perusahaan asuransi perlu engage dengan penyedia EKYC kalau misalnya mau melakukan proses onboarding. Nah, dengan adanya Inapas, ini semuanya sudah dilakukan terintegrasi, kemudian juga tinggal dipakai karena nanti Inapas ini akan ada yang namanya digital wallet di dalamnya. Nah, kemudian juga ada yang namanya Inaku. Inaku itu adalah government public service. Jadi kalau misalnya nanti insurance adalah bagian dari pelayanan publik, dia bisa dimasukkan ke dalam portalnya Popular Public Service ini. Kalau Inagov ini adalah untuk government, jadi istilahnya itu hanya untuk ASN karena ini untuk portal administrasi pemerintah. Nah, ini mungkin yang kita bikin kemarin untuk Inaku dan Inapas. Jadi nanti pemerintah mau melihat bagaimana life journey dari seluruh masyarakat 360 derajat mulai dia lahir sampai dengan dia meninggal. Nah, dari mulai lahir sampai dengan meninggal ini semuanya berhubungan dengan asuransi. Mulai dari misalnya bagaimana kita bicara asuransi kesehatan, asuransi jiwa untuk kematian, nanti dia untuk sekolah. Jadi life cycle journey dari seorang manusia mulai dari lahir sampai dengan dia melahirkan, sampai dengan dia meninggal, itu semuanya berhubungan sama protection. Semua berhubungan sama trust. Semua sendi kehidupan sebenarnya kalau kita mau direlasikan atau di-align-kan ini terjadi. Nah, ini yang kemarin kenapa ada Inapas. Jadi Inapas ini kalau misalnya nanti kita ngelihat semua orang, semua website itu atau semua aplikasi itu membutuhkan digital identity. Jadi cukup satu ini bisa lakukan single sign on di semua tempat. Jadi yang sekarang baru ada, ini ada Inaku, jadi kita bisa melakukan layanan kependudukan atau layanan Dukcapil. Kemudian ada dengan BPJS, TK atau BP Jam Sostek kita bisa melihat JHT ataupun misalnya yang lain. Ini adalah layanan-layanan awal, layanan-layanan yang pertama kali kita luncurkan. Nextnya akan terus berkembang sesuai dengan maturity level, kemudian juga sesuai dengan kebutuhannya. Jadi ngelihatnya kalau misalnya sekarang kita punya layanan dasar, layanan kesehatan, layanan pendidikan, layanan sosial ataupun nanti layanan kepolisian. Jadi kalau sekarang kita bikin SKCK itu harus datang, nextnya nanti kita cukup masuk login pakai Inapas, dia udah tahu itu by name by address, itu adalah usernya bener-bener Farah, udah gitu nanti udah tinggal di onboarding. Jadi ini adalah bentuk KTP digital kita yang bisa kita lakukan untuk any single transaksi digital di semua platform ataupun di seluruh aplikasi yang ada. Nah, ini Inapas, jadi kenapa saya ngelihat Inapas ini penting karena semua fundamental dari kita bicara digitalisasi mulainya dari ID. Jadi ID-nya ada benar apa enggak, orangnya benar apa enggak. Jadi Inapas tidak hanya untuk orang tapi juga untuk untuk entitas. Jadi juga nanti dia akan ditaruh, direlasikan lagi misalnya dengan bantuan ataupun misalnya dengan subsidi ataupun dengan nanti misalnya pemberian iuran di semuanya itu nanti ada dalam sini. Jadi mulai dari data keluarga, kemudian data transaksi dokumen, kemudian misalnya punya polis asuransi apa saja itu nanti semuanya. Semua any single things yang dibikin dengan berbasiskan NIK ataupun misalnya identitas, baik itu paspor, SIM ataupun KTP di Indonesia, itu nanti akan ada di Inapas. Nah, ini mungkin kalau misalnya kita ngelihat kenapa Inapas ini bisa kita jadikan identity, jadi semua orang nanti itu akan dilakukan proses EKYC onboarding dengan biometrik. Biometriknya ada 3 hal, kemudian nanti berdasar di onboarding kita akan terbitkan yang namanya QR face identity. Jadi kalau misalnya sekedar QR, semua orang bisa di send atau misalnya dikirim nanti orang bisa masuk. Tapi kalau dengan QR face identity artinya mukanya tersedia, jadi dia bisa dilakukan verifikasi dan validasi. Jadi autentikasi, otorisasi, verifikasi dan validasi bisa dilakukan dalam satu ini. Jadi bagaimana caranya kita membuktikan identitas kita dengan Inapas seperti itu. Nah, ini mungkin kalau misalnya kita ngelihat apa sih Peruri itu selalu menjaminkan dokumen itu secure apa enggak, asli apa enggak. Tapi kalau misalnya kita ngelihat bagaimana bicara ke digital ke depan, ada yang namanya memastikan bahwa suatu hal itu secure. Berarti secara kasat mata atau over, dia harus tahu bahwa itu asli. Kemudian kalau misalnya kita bicara, bisa dibuktikan dengan bantuan alat dan bisa dilakukan audit trail. Jadi segala sesuatu yang berhubungan sama security, at least punya 3 hal. Nah ini mungkin kalau misalnya kita ngelihat dokumen ya, jadi kalau misalnya kita bicara e-policy ataupun trust di insurance, hubungannya nanti pada saat kita apply, dapat polis, kemudian juga claim, juga dapat ada dokumen-dokumennya. Nah bagaimana sih dokumen-dokumen itu sebenarnya punya yang namanya trust level. Trust level jadi ada yang full trusted, ada less trusted, ada juga nanti yang kita ngelihat dia semuanya dia. Jadi kalau dokumen fisik yang namanya full trusted artinya dokumen fisiknya lengkap, kemudian dia ditandatanganin, kemudian dia ada stempel, biasanya untuk kalau dokumen-dokumen berharga atau misalnya sertifikat berharga bernilai uang itu dibubuhkan materai. Jadi kalau kita ngelihat ada undang-undang materai itu punya 9 dokumen terkena biaya materai. Jadi kalau misalnya ada materai tempel atau dokumennya dokumen biasa, dokumen fisik artinya dia ada materai tempel. Nah bagaimana dengan dokumen elektronik ataupun misalnya e-policy ataupun yang nanti yang lainnya. Nah kalau dia less trusted biasanya tuh saya dapatnya dokumen PDF terus udah gitu tanda tangannya di copy, ditaruh, kemudian nanti ada stempel juga ditaruh, kemudian nanti dikasih materai tempel yang juga yang ditaruh. Nah tapi kalau misalnya kita ngelihat bagaimana itu full trusted, semuanya itu terintegrasi, bisa dibuktikan, kemudian dia memenuhi kaidah-kaidah dari undang-undang yang ada, undang-undang ITE ataupun undang-undang PDP ataupun nanti undang-undang materai. Nah, mungkin case-nya kalau misalnya untuk insurance ya, saya sih ngelihat tadi banyak sekali kita ada asuransi yang kalau dulu asuransi itu panjang batas waktunya. Kalau sekarang itu yang cuman misalnya asuransi perjalanan, misalnya asuransi lari, atau misalnya asuransi yang simple-simple gitu, beli barang setelah barangnya nyampe ya sudahlah gitu kan. Nah itu kan membutuhkan banyak inovasi dan banyak juga approach-approach yang kita lakukan. Nah regulasi-regulasinya juga harus kita sesuaikan. Jadi mungkin kalau misalnya di sini sebagai forum diskusi menurut saya perlu kita lakukan regulasi apa yang bisa melindungi, kemudian juga bisa kita diskusikan bersama. Mungkin kalau misalnya saya boleh kasih satu case ya untuk e-policy gitu. Kalau kita ngelihat peraturannya, ini semua orang tahu ada tanda tangan digital. Tapi tanda tangan digital banyak jenisnya. Jadi ada yang tanda tangan di crop, ada yang tanda tangan pakai PSRE, ada yang tanda tangan misalnya dia di copy. Nah, sebenarnya dari sisi polis asuransi yang diperlukan adalah security feature pada saat dia menerbitkan e-policy. Karena pada saat kita bicara claim, jadi polis asuransi pada diterbitkan itu sebenarnya diterbitkan. Tapi pada yang paling penting adalah apakah ada claim apa tidak. Nah proses e-claim itu yang memerlukan bagaimana kita memastikan verifikasi dan validasi dari dokumen-dokumen yang diperlukan seperti itu. Nah ini kalau misalnya kita bicara semuanya sudah digital, orangnya sudah benar, orangnya sudah valid, artinya dokumennya juga harus valid. Jadi nanti semua proses bisnis yang berhubungan dengan proses mulai dari penerbitan sampai klaim itu bisa terjadi dengan lurus dan semuanya merasa aman, semua stakeholder merasa semuanya terlindungi. Nah mungkin kalau misalnya case-case yang lain kita juga pernah ada satu asuransi yang nilai polisnya itu dirubah. Misalnya let's say uang pertanggungan misalnya 1 miliar kemudian ada yang rubah karena itu sifatnya elektronik tinggal dikirim via email dia rubah kemudian dia ganti jadi angkanya 2 kali lipat atau 3 kali lipat let's say 3 miliar. Nah pada saat dia datang untuk klaim biasanya semuanya bilang oh di sistem kami uang pertanggungannya hanya nilainya 1 miliar. Tapi orangnya bilangnya nggak seperti itu ya bilangnya gini oke kalau gitu buktikan dong polis yang saya bawa ini dari perusahaan asuransi bapak dan ibu. Jadi kita harus punya sesuatu untuk memastikan pada saat kita bikin segala sesuatunya itu dalam waktu digital, itu ada hal-hal atau ada tanda ataupun ada security feature yang hanya penerbit yang tahu ataupun auditor yang tahu bahwa ini adalah asli. Karena kalau misalnya kita bicara sekedar digitalisasi, apa sih bedanya orang Indonesia sama orang luar negeri? Jadi kalau misalnya di Indonesia itu kita punya ID mungkin baru 5 tahun terakhir ya, semua orang misalnya bayi yang baru lahir dikasih NIK. Kalau misalnya zaman saya dulu, saya lahir dapat akte kelahiran, setelah itu saya baru punya KTP setelah saya umur 17 tahun. Kemana data saya sepanjang dari saya lahir sampai 17? Jadi pada saat kita bicara by name by address, bagaimana cara kita memverifikasi orang, bagaimana kita memvalidasi orang, itu kita melihat bagaimana sebenarnya proses bisnisnya, bagaimana semuanya bisa terjadi. Mungkin kalau misalnya nanti kita mau tahu lebih banyak tentang Inapas, kami ada booth juga. Mungkin kalau misalnya demikian, terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih Ibu Farah. Thanks to all the speakers for the insightful content. Now we go to the Q&A. So we do have questions from the participants. Maybe the committee can help to show. The first one I think we can go together to IBAU Tech and also DXC. What are the biggest challenges insurers face when integrating AI into current digital platforms or core system, and how can this be addressed, especially for Indonesia companies? Thank you.
Okay, I'll take a first step. Okay. So when we any transformation is anyway a difficult process. Now when it comes to data, I think what we have to look at is what the source data is. Because essentially, if we have to use, let's say, AI or Gen AI, particularly if I take that example, a lot of that will depend in what is the kind of data coming in. Because if what we joke around in our own parlance is, if garbage comes in, then garbage goes out, right? So quality of the data is very important. Second thing is, we have to look at various sources of data. You mentioned in your question about policy admin system. Yes, it would have almost like 80% of the data which is there. But in today's world, especially in the digital era, data is coming from mobile apps, data is coming from portals, data is coming from partner channels, data is coming from social media and so on. So I think at the very beginning, when you are trying to have a vision for your company, how you want to transform, how you want to use data, that has to be established. Then plumbing or piping has to be done in a data lake or a data warehouse to put it there. From our own experience perspective, when we are going in, there's a lot of effort which goes in putting those data structure in place, using some industry-specific standards, getting in data, trying to create those golden records, and then from there, the AI journey starts. So it's a journey. It cannot be achieved in like a short span or 2 months. Iteratively, in 3 months exercises and quick sprints, you try to improve upon that, and then from there, you try to get more meaningful insights.
I can also add maybe two, 3 real-life examples where we use AI, or let's put it like maybe machine learning combined AI to mitigate risk, or even before the GUR. Maybe the first one is very evident. I mentioned just shortly the new versions of weather prediction makes a huge impact, not only on houses and private owner, but also in commercial. So if you know what kind of weather will come, and like one of the prone ones for retail, P&C and commercial is if many cars outside in a hail. This is, for example, for Europe, one of the most severe damages. or you know that you have to close and protect the windows, because it's not only if the windows break after hail because the rain coming in and all the machinery is gone. So the opportunity for insurers to use precise weather predictions for natural catastrophe, even on a small scale, is a huge savings of money. So this is really, bottom line, this is really in the books. The second thing where we see a huge advantage of AI tools is what we call it, the so-called underwriting risks. So in terms of fraud prevention. Sometimes we just don't really know as humans, but if you have the tools and they see certain patterns, they see also certain patterns, which might be more fraudulent already in the beginning, and you can just double check it to make sure and root some out. It's a huge savings later on, and it's much better than fraud prevention after the fact. It happened, and then you just need to see you pay or not. And this is the few ones where we really see an impact. And the third one is commercial underwriting. Let's say construction, property business. You build big building, office buildings or bridges, etc. And very often risks occur with contamination, certain things, sometimes certain materials, and we don't know in advance, might be easy to burn down. Or if they burn, they cause very toxic smoke. There are thousands of things out in very specialty things. If you now have the right tools and AI, they look in milliseconds in all the data globally. Whatever happened to any building in any world, it was ever written something by a professor in science, by firefighting, by etc. Nobody else could put this together. But if you have this information together and then a smart underwriting spot in the report, wait a moment, they used the material which was used 3.5 years in a building in Chicago, and this happened, and it puts it together for you. This is real millions of dollars saving before it happens.
So from my perspective, I've implemented a lot of AI projects since 2016 in my startup. So I think a few things that we need to address here. First is data. I believe some of our speakers here have addressed the quality of data. But the other thing we need to consider is also the speed of the data, the velocity of the data coming in as well, and the various source of structured, unstructured data, right? How do you fusion the data together and make sense out of it? And that's why in one of our toolkit, InsureMo toolkit, we have a tool where we can ingest all different kinds of data for you with a right structured, and you can then do your various data analytics use cases. I've also came across a lot of assurance, always talking about trying to STP underwriting, but I always defer that to a later stage, because I will be able to help them improve their underwriting only if I start to help them perform AI on their claims. From claims, I move to fraud. From fraud, then I will move to underwriting. So this will be usually the sequence, right? When I was deploying these solutions across the region previously. So yeah, that's my perspective. Thanks.
Thank you. So I think continue from Mr. Horn's explanation about how to prevent the risk, right? So the question again from the participant, and you also explained in your session about the AI solution in various services. And could you share in more details on how AI provide foresight and also help insurer predict and mitigate risks before they occur?
I think that was kind of the question.
It's about the preventive control to mitigate the risks.
Yeah, like that was quite close to the lines what I say. All the information like before you were not able to access just in a regular process, because you look into your own data, maybe you have some files from before. That's not enough. Now with it's the combination of data, but it's the speed of access and go through. So tangible example. If I underwrite a big risk and I'm actually not really sure, and I have maybe a limited experience, maybe it's something in an industry we have only insured in one country twice a year, this risk, but now I have the data access, maybe publicly available, what regulators, what associations offered, all globally, and can just ask the tool, and we have actually tools right now helping the underwriters really put it together in a small report. So the underwriter can ask the machine and basically say, like as a ChatGPT prompt, look, I'm going to insure a building, or I'm going to insure a bridge, and this is the materials, this is the specification. Tell me all certain things about it which occur in the last 10 years which are not normal. You know, and suddenly stuff comes up which you have never ever seen before. And then you can dig deeper and say, okay, in this case, what is it? And then you can either say, I'm not underwrite the risk, or, oh no, I need to adjust the price because it's actually a different setting. Or what most time happens, and this is what customers actually really love, you go for a shared kind of risk assessment advisory and say, look, we have really found for fire prevention or this or that, this is too dangerous. If we install this together, this and this, I give you a better price because the risk is better and your machinery or whatever is safer. So these are very tangible examples for how to mitigate things before happening based on information you haven't had before.
Okay. Thank you. We can continue to Mr. Dennis. So based on your experience with numerous implementation in Indonesia through partnership with IBAU, what are the benefits and challenges of embedded insurance in Indonesia?
Yeah, got it. Thanks. Currently, I think the challenges are very how do I say, it's more personality and organizational challenge more than the product itself. I think most insurers have the ability and capability and the depth to create products that is meaningful for whichever segment of customers. But I think the mindset shift of how it's being distributed is one of the key challenge in talking to partners or talking to customers or platform. Because I think the opportunities lie in a smooth customer journey. So if we focus on how the customer wants to buy, I think then the challenge, you reduce the challenges behind it, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Anyone would like to add? On the opportunities also.
Yeah, I guess if you look at the new generation, right? Everybody, the Gen Z prefers digital insurance products. And also if you look at the problems, or I should say the challenges of, I always came across OJK mentioning that the insurance literacy rate is low. Everybody in Indonesia knows that actually, right? And we always repeat that. But how are we going to address the problem? No, you can't go to someone and raise their insurance literacy rate by having an agent sitting in front of them for 1 hour explaining about life insurance. However, if you can embed insurance into their daily products or services that they buy, and once they did a claim, they will understand what is the meaning of insurance. And that will then be, you will then be able to slowly raise the insurance literacy rate in Indonesia. So of course, I mean, it's not simple for a lot of insurance companies to simply just come up with a lot of new products very fast. And that's the reason why we came up with the idea of having a middle office for you to be able to come up with products very fast, launch it very fast. If that product doesn't work, it's okay, scrap it and move on to the next product actually. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Next one to, sorry, you want to add?
Yeah,
sure.
I think I'd like to add something, right? So it's not, from my perspective, it's not only about digital sales and how we are actually enabling digital channels. I think what we should be looking at, what as an industry we can do for underinsured, right? I'll just give you an example. We are working with one of the biggest insurance companies. It's a Hong Kong-based company. if you look at it, right, like if you already have cancer, most of the time you will not be able to get any kind of health insurance, especially not related to cancer. We are working with insurance companies where they are actually leveraging a lot of data, analytics, the information they are getting, and is launching a cancer plan which is for people who have already had cancer. It depends on what kind of treatment was given to you, what kind of cancer it was, what stage of cancer it was, and on the basis of that, they're still able to get insurance, right? So it's actually now opening up a whole new channel in terms of people who were not able to buy insurance before. So I think it's all about how you're actually leveraging data, I think, and how you're actually ingesting the data. I think a lot of focus for insurance companies, our data quality as well. I think insurance companies still don't have a lot of rigor when it comes to data quality. So I think these are some of the mind shift changes which needs to be done, especially in the insurance sector. I'll give you an example, right? When I was the chief distribution officer for my previous insurance company, we always wanted to do a lot more digital sales. We wanted to enable our digital providers, but insurance agents will always come up and they'll not be happy, right? Why are we launching digital channels? So it's all about mind shift change, how you educate not only your external partners, but also your internal staff as well. So yeah.
Can I just add one more example? The data is important, and also I think the opportunities lie in seeing where the traction is, meaning to say, like, one of the things that's going live for us in Zimbabwe was we partner with a fertilizer company. Who would have thought you were partner with a fertilizer company, right? But every packet of fertilizer sold to the farmer is embedded with personal accident and crop insurance. And the thesis is, if I'm a farmer and injure my arm, at least I'm covered. I can still continue harvesting. And of course, crop insurance is the yield and all that. So I think these are the pockets of opportunities that I think we can all look at.
Thank you. The last question to Ibu Farah. Could you please share examples of successful collaboration that might be with the insurance companies in this regard?
Oke, mungkin kalau misalnya dari kami Peruri, kita berkolaborasi banyakkan dengan asuransi BUMN ya, tapi ada juga beberapa yang swasta, tapi saya mau kasih case-nya itu begini. Pertama adalah yang paling susah di Indonesia adalah kita mengidentifikasi apakah orang ini benar apa tidak. Jadi kalau misalnya kita sebagai yang konvensional itu kan orangnya ketemu nggak ada isu, kita tahu dia di mana, orangnya di mana, kerja di mana, itu jelas. Tapi pada saat kita bicara leverage dengan sistem digital, jadi orang tinggal subscribe, kemudian semua every single things itu jadi, mulai dari insurance atau profiling orang, itu yang paling susah adalah bagaimana kita menemukanali bahwa orangnya adalah orang yang benar, kemudian dia authorize, kemudian dia juga sesuai dengan misalnya profilingnya. Misalnya kalau kita ngelihat kan kalau di platform digital itu kita biasanya ada questionnaire, tapi kan kalau misalnya emang kita pengen dapat asuransi kesehatan gitu, saya akan tik semuanya bahwa saya adalah sehat. Bagaimana memastikan bahwa itu yang ditik benar gitu, atau orangnya benar, orangnya authorized. Nah itulah kenapa pada saat kita bicara transformasi digital yang diperlukan itu tidak hanya sekedar teknologinya, tapi juga kita melihat bagaimana bisnis prosesnya, environmentnya, trustnya. Nah dimulai dari mengidentifikasi orangnya, orangnya benar. Setelah itu kalau misalnya tadi kita punya inapas, jadi nanti semua profil dan semua ini warga negara itu ada. Apakah dia taat bayar pajak apa tidak, bagaimana dengan behaviornya, itu semuanya dapat dari misalnya media sosialnya, itu bisa di-combine dalam satu AI analitik yang bisa kita lakukan pre-generated untuk memastikan pada saat kita melakukan verifikasi, oh ya nih orangnya benar dan dia layak atau dia eligible untuk melakukan hal tersebut. Nah kalau misalnya ngelihat asuransi tadi, kami masih banyak main di asuransi di teman-teman BUMN, tapi juga ada beberapa yang swasta. Tapi intinya adalah pada saat kita melakukan perubahan bisnis proses, banyak sekali support system yang perlu kita siapkan. Yang pertama adalah tools, misalnya kita udah punya sistemnya end-to-end apa tidak. Kemudian yang paling penting security-nya seperti apa, kemudian juga bagaimana kemudahan. Mungkin kalau misalnya sekarang orang tinggal kirim polis, tapi nanti impact-nya seperti apa, nanti pada saat proses klaimnya, apakah kita bisa sedemikian percayanya dengan, oh ya nih kalau misalnya parameter ini semua terpenuhi, artinya dia langsung bisa klaim dengan bisa langsung klaim seperti itu. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Bu Farah. So everyone, as we conclude our panel discussion, I want to express my sincere appreciation to all panelists and also participants for insightful and forward-looking conversations. Today we have navigated through the complexities of digital technology in the insurance industry, tackling key themes from digital disruptions, harnessing digital platform for underwriting and claims, to preparing our workforce for the digital and AI revolution, and enhancing digital trust amidst rising cyber threats. As we move forward, let's carry the insights and strategies discussed today into our respective roles and organizations. The journey of digital transformation is ongoing, and our collective efforts will be crucial in shaping a resilient, customer-centric, and also secure insurance industry for the future. Thank you for your time.